Hello YouTube. Synchronicity. What is it? Have to excuse me, all these creaks and crackings in the background, it's my bones. Which is really funny, isn't it? My age. And what's even funnier is that I talk quietly because I don't want to upset the neighbours, and then I post this on YouTube. So, anyone can hear it anyway. So let me just have a little chat about synchronicity. I am writing a book about synchronicity, and so as I'm writing the book, I'm finding that there are more coincidences happening in my world, and I put this down purely to the fact that I'm writing a book about it. And whatever you focus on does increase, doesn't it? So if I'm thinking about coincidence, naturally, A, I'm going to notice them more, and B, they happen more. Is that common sense, or is that just my experience of synchronicity and coincidence? What is synchronicity? Let's say it started before Carl Jung, even. It did, but a lot of people recognise that it's Carl Jung who brought it to the attention of the masses using the term synchronicity. What happened was he was having a session with someone, a therapy session. As the lady was explaining a dream to him, because that is what he did at the time, dream analysis and psychotherapy in the traditional sense, she was explaining to him that about a scarab beetle that she had in her dream and the meaning of that for her. And as they were talking, there was a little tapping on the window, which he noticed. See, that's the second part of synchronicity. Not only does it have to happen, but you have to be in an alert enough state of mind to be able to pay attention to what's going on around you. And he noticed a little tapping at the window, and he noticed a scarab beetle. He let it in the window and showed it to the lady, I do believe. I think that's how the story ends. To him, it was a coincidence that was just beyond probability. And to her, it had life-changing consequences. It gave her life new meaning, and she felt that it was proof that there is more to life than what we can possibly understand, analyse, explain. And that really is the meaning that synchronicity does have for a lot of people. It is like a message from your guardian angels, or your spirit guides, or your higher self, or God, or the universe, or the matrix that we're living in. Whatever it is that you feel is higher than us, that is the thing that orchestrates the intelligence behind chance meetings, coincidences to happen, coincidental names, dates, places, events, the same sort of events happening over and over in our lives. They don't just happen by accident. There's no such thing as coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. And why is the question. And for different people, obviously, there's going to be different meanings as to why this would happen. Why would this show up for me in my world at this time? And often, these synchronicities and coincidences do happen when we're struggling ourselves to link ourselves up to our higher spiritual path. But it is like a reminder of our calling, a reminder just nudging us, look, pay attention to your spiritual self. What are you doing on the planet? Why did you come here? What is the purpose of your life? Because sometimes we can get so wrapped up in earthly material gains and our everyday world of what's going on a daily basis, we can completely forget that there is a spiritual dimension to life. And when does it happen? Well, it can happen at any time of day, any time of night. Wayne Dyer did say to one of his audiences once, who here wakes up between 3 and 4 in the morning? And it's quite a common thing to do for people to wake up in the middle of the night. Maybe not so common is for people to notice what time they're waking up. If you did it regularly and you woke up at 3:21 and then you kept seeing the number 321 everywhere, that would be significant for that person. If you kept waking up at 3:15 every day, you'd have to ask yourself why. What is it that my higher self wants me to be aware of, that it would wake me up at 3 in the morning to let me know? Where do these synchronicities happen? Well, everywhere. You can see a synchronicity on the side of a bus. If you're paying attention to urban messages, which is, text, use of text in advertising and sign writings as you're going about your daily business. I remember once I was going to church with a friend of mine, and it was Halloween. We were going to a spiritualist church, and it was during the day, and we got lost, went the wrong way, found ourselves the wrong way, facing away from where we were going, and at the bottom of the road it was blocked off by a giant lorry with a big black cat on the side of it. And we did laugh because it was so very Halloweeny, a big black cat, for us to see on that day at that time and place. Synchronicities, how they come to us, it can be all manner of things. We can see people that we haven't seen for a time, bump into them, and we've just thought about them a few days previously, and then there they are in our real life, in 3D, real, flesh and blood people. And we can say to them, oh, I was just thinking about you, and they may or may not believe us, because who would if you haven't seen someone for months and then suddenly you bump into them? Got no reason to be thinking about them, but there they are, and it happens just slightly before the event. So just before the event of bumping into that person, you think of them. And it's the same with the phone calls as well. A lot of people, particularly with landlines, I find this, when people are at home and they get a sense that somebody's going to call them, and like a brother or sister or someone close that they normally talk to on the landline, they get a sense that they're just about to call, and so they pick the phone up and ring, and then the other person says, oh, I was about to call you. I'm not so sure that I've heard it quite so much with mobiles. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because our brains are sort of so linked into a massive network of information that it's not quite so clear when we do get the message from the other person, from the other human's mind. And I do believe that is what it is. It's a form of telepathy amongst people who are linked up and joined in that way. And it can happen. There are so many other ways it can happen, synchronicity. For instance, someone I used to go to church with was looking for a house. She decided that she was going to move up to Norwich from Essex. Her husband and her were looking for a place, and they hadn't actually gone out on a recce. They hadn't actually viewed any houses. They had the map, and they could have gone anywhere at all. And they both were looking at the map, and then she noticed the name of this town, and it was something funny like Bottomsworth. And she laughed and she said, I don't care where we go, as long as it's not there. We can't possibly move to a town called Bottomsworth. And they both laughed. And then they got some estate agents on it and told them the criteria that they needed: parking, garage, garden, number of rooms, everything that they wanted in a property. And they said, well, we're fairly flexible about where we go. This is how much money we want to spend. And they let the estate agents get on with it and book them a few viewings. And then one of these properties that an estate agent sent through, the lady was like, oh, this is exactly what we need. This looks exactly right. It ticks all the boxes. And it turns out this one was in Bottomsworth, or wherever it was the silly name was. And so her and husband thought, well, since it ticks all the boxes, we might as well go and look at it. So off they went. They went along to the viewing on Saturday with half a dozen other houses, and they pulled up and they knew that was, it was exactly what they were looking for. They went into the bungalow and they were standing there with the lady who was selling the house, and as they were standing in the hallway having a little chat, my friend looked up at a beam above the master bedroom, and on the beam there was a date etched in the woodwork. And my friend said to the lady, oh, there's a date in the woodwork. And the lady said, oh yes, that was the date that I had my son. She gave birth to her son in that room, so they had the date etched into the beam. But the coincidence being that that was my friend and her husband's wedding anniversary. The day, the month, the year, and they did go on to buy that house. But for her, that was a significant sign. They didn't buy it because of that, they bought it because of it ticked all the boxes and it was exactly what they were looking for. But the coincidence was so strong for her, it is one of those things that I think can only be termed synchronicity. The synchronicity of those events, that on the day she was getting married, the woman she was buying her house from was giving birth to her son. And they both appreciated the moment and they loved it and laughed about it, and it's a great story to be able to tell. Most people have got at least one of those significant synchronicities and coincidences which are so unlikely that they just feel like they're in the realm of the supernatural, because there's no logical reasoning behind that as to why those two people would then come together in that pattern. And that's what synchronicity is. It's enjoying the coincidences of life. It's looking for the patterns in life, recognising them when they happen, acknowledging them, saying thank you to the universe for them, and the universe will dish you up some more. And then you just play with the universe. You get to the point where you're just playing now, just playing with the universe, with the coincidences, and the universe just does have a laugh back. It's been lovely to speak with you, and I shall speak with you again soon.